However, think about it. If we have a numerous consumer, okay, not just for numerous consumer, so this will be straight line. Okay, you can see rather than stepwise like that, you can see that the demand curve is straight line and downward sloping demand curve. Okay, you can see this
Yes.
is the reason why. Okay, we can base on consumer surplus, and of course we need to pay to explain why demand curve is downward sloping. Okay, and demand curve, you can see in general is a straight line, might be linear or non-linear, but straight line downward sloping demand curve based on we need to pay price and consumer surplus. You see?
Yes.
Yes, good. So we can conclude that consumer surplus in a market is the area below the demand curve and above the price. Below demand curve and above the price. And we can define like that. Consumer surplus is the difference between willingness to pay price and actual price. The difference. Okay. Yeah, you can see here demand schedule, and from that we can draw demand curve can be derived from the willingness to pay of the possible buyer. More and more consumer, numerous consumer, the demand curve will be downward sloping. Okay, closely related to the demand curve. So we can use it to explain in detail, further detail why demand curve is downward sloping. I just remind you that, for example, from law of demand, we say that there is negative relation between price and what they demanded, other thing equal, and then demand curve is downward sloping. But to some extent, we are not easy, okay, to just accept that. Okay, it looks so simple to describe why demand curve is downward sloping because of just law of demand. So believe me, you can base on consumer surplus, willingness to pay price to explain more scientifically why demand curve is downward sloping. Okay, because more and more output consumer consume, more and more consumer enter the market to consume product, their willingness to pay will be deadline. Okay, will be deadline. So demand curve is downward sloping. Okay, so we have another explanation why demand curve is downward sloping based on we need to pay price and consumer surplus, and it seems more, more scientifically than we just based on law of demand to answer. And furthermore, if we study chapter 21, the theory of consumer behavior or individual behavior, we also try to explain why demand curve is downward sloping. Okay, very interesting. Okay, if you have a time, if you want to read, please look at chapter 21, theory of individual behavior. Okay, so group 2 today, okay, well prepared. Yes, you present well for the consumer surplus. Good. And now we move to the second part of what we will study today with the same approach. Before we have a consumer surplus, and now we try to study producer surplus. So I want to invite group 4, okay, for the producer surplus. presentation. Group 4, please.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Um,
hear you well. Now play.
yes. Um, okay. We will start with the uh, initial definition. Some definition terms of producer surplus. When we call the cost, it is the value everything a seller must to give up to produce a good. Uh, for example, if a producer want to produce um a a type of clothes, they have to buy fabrics and some colors to dye their clothes, and they have to pay all the cost of this ingredients for produ- produ- for their production. This is called cost. And in terms of producer surplus, it is the amount to received by sellers minus the cost to seller. For example, if sellers want to uh, receive 20 million dollars, and the cost to they have to pay for their cost is 15 million dollars. So in this case, the producer surplus is 20 million dollars minus 50 million dollars equal 5 million dollars. So the next slide, please. Yeah, in the table 2, we have the cost of 4 possible sellers. You can see we have the cost for Vincent, Chloe, and Paolo and Andy. Next slide, please. Okay. Um, when consumer surplus relate closely related to the demand curve, the producer surplus closely related to the supply curve, and it is described by supply schedule, which is derived from the cost of suppliers. And what is the marginal seller? It is the seller who would leave the market first if the price were any lower. And it measures the well-being of sellers. Okay, can you move to the next slide? Okay, here we have the example of the supply schedule and supply curve. We can see here at the price not $900 and more, we have and cost, and the quantity demanded is 4. This is the highest it is described in the highest of the
Okay. This slide,
schedule.
this slide will help you. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
My student, now look at this. Uh, there are 4 seller, for example. Okay, 4 seller. And for example, if the market price less than 500, please, that is market price. The market price less than 500. Can anyone among them, Andy, Pablo, Chloe, or Vincent, try the market? No, they could not, because their cost higher than 500.
Yes.
So if the market price less than 500 and that cost higher than, what does that mean? That means they could not engage the market. Okay.
Yes.
Similarly, they produce nothing, zero. Okay, because they cost higher than the price. You see? And now, if price, I mean the market price 600, for example, from 500 to 600, what you say? In this case, just Andy can try the market by selling his product, one unit. He can do that because he costs lower than the price. So he entered the market to earn profit. Just only Andy can do that. How about Pablo, Chloe, and Vincent, Thảo? Can they try the market when the price is just less than 600? No, they could not, because they got higher than the price they could earn. Okay?
Yes.
And now price increase 600 to 800. How many seller can try the market? Of course, just two, Pablo
Just
and
to.
Andy. Okay.
Yes.
And in this case, two person try the market, and you apply the same way. Okay.
Yes.
So in this case, uh, the graph show up the corresponding supply curve. You can see here, just supply curve, stepwise. Okay. For person. It depends on the cost in producing. You can see there, the height of the supply curve reflect the seller cost. So,
yes.
Thanh Thảo, you can see that among the four sellers, which one is the most effective producer? Which one is the most effective in producing?
In my opinion,
Andy, okay?
Because Andy have the lowest cost.
Yes, good. You can see that firm only compete with the other in the market only when he can produce with lower cost than his competitor. Okay?
Yes.
The firm with lowest cost can compete with the other one.
Yes.
Okay,
It
good.
means that they can produce more supply.
Yeah, they can produce more with lower cost than the other.
Yes.
Then we say they are effective in producing.
And they have competitive advantage of this product.
Yes, of course, that's competitive advantage. Lower
Yes.
cost than the other. Okay, good. Now keep going on. So you can see the supply curve we buy on the seller cost is upward. Okay. However, because here we have a just four seller, so supply curve something like stepwise. Okay, từng bậc. However, if there are many seller, what will happen for supply curve?
Just create a straight line.
Yeah, this will create straight line. Okay, and we study in the textbook. Okay, supply curve or
Yes.
demand curve, straight line, because there are many buyer or many seller in the market. It's just like in mathematics, we have a continuous data and discrete data. Okay, continuous, yeah, something like straight line function. That's right.
Yes.
Good.
And the next, when we see supply curve, what does it mean? It reflects us the seller cost as lecturer mentioned before, and this supply curve is used to measure producer surplus. And why the consumer surplus is calculated below the demand curve and above the price curve. The producer surplus is calculated by above the supply curve and above the price. You can see in the next slide. Yes, here we have two situation. With the situation A, if the price is $600, you can see a small rectangular between 500 to $600 is the anti producer surplus. However, when the price from increase from $500 to $800, the producer surplus increase is its area is larger. It compared to producer surplus of Palo and Andy. Yes, that you can see in the picture two, picture P. That according to pictures, we can draw the conclusion that when the price increase, the producer surplus will be larger. Yes, next slide, please. Yes, okay, we have some reasons for the behind why the higher price will raise consumer will raise producer surplus as I mentioned in the two picture before. The first is existing sellers. Um, Sellers who were already selling the good at a lower price are better off because they are now get more what they sell. For example, when the seller have the cost of $500 will have more benefits compared to the sellers have produced their goods as $900. Yes, and the second reason is more seller enter the market. That means more people, more sellers are willing to produce the good at a higher price. Yes, so we have two pictures here to demonstrate what I have said. With the picture one, the consumer surplus at the price one is you can see it is a small rect triangle, and when it comes to the picture B, the price increase from the price one to higher price two, the rectangle the triangle will be larger. It combines the initial producer surplus A, B, C with the producer surplus to new producers C, E, F, and compile and plus with the rectangular D, E, C, D, B, C, E, D, additional producer surplus to initial producers. Okay, all of this demonstrate that when the price increase, the producer surplus will be larger. Okay, can you move to the next slide, please?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You
Yes.
stop your presentation here. Very good. Yeah. Your group, group for had just presented well the ideas of producer surplus. So my question is, according to you, why supply curve is upward sloping? Okay, please don't learn on law of supply. Just by on the cost of seller. Okay, willingness to sell. Yes. So tell us why supply curve is upward sloping.
Um, Among to our group presentation, we know that the supply curve is have the tendency to upward because uh, the produce price and the quantity supplied um, um, are directly related to this trend. Uh, when the price of a good increase, that means the supply curve will increase too. Yes, and the second is more and more seller come to the supermarket, the market, and that means that they will produce more goods.
Okay,
Yes,
that's okay.
we
Yeah,
have two reasons.
I want to support
yeah,
her a little bit. And she means that
yes.
the supply curve is upward sloping because as the product of a bride, the price of the product is rising, the business, the producer tend to more like to make it. So that's why the price is increasing.
Okay, that's right. And I can summarize like this. Just a short sentence. Yeah, because of increasing cost in producing. Seller cost keep increasing when more seller engage in the market. Seller cost keep increasing, supply curve is upward sloping. Okay, that will be on willingness to sell. Similarly, why demand curve is downward sloping? It based on willingness to pay. Willingness to pay keep decreasing. Willingness to sell keep increasing. Okay, so that are some reasons why. Okay, demand curve is downward and supply curve upward. That good. And now we move to the market efficiency part. Okay, I prefer group sit. Yeah, group 2 and group 4 do well. And now group sit, market efficiency. So group sit, where are you?
Okay, so do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you well.
Yeah. Okay, so in this part, the market efficiency, we will discuss the efficiency of markets. So a market is efficient if it allocates resources in a way that maximizes total economic well-being. And one way, so so I will begin with what is efficiency means. So it means that the goods are consumed by the buyers who value them most highly. It means that the goods are produced by the producers with the lowest cost, and raising or lowering the quantity of a good would not increase total supplies. So can you move to the next slide, please?
This or I return.
What?
You
Sorry,
want
but
me to return or move forward?
move forward. Yeah,
This slide or?
yeah.
Okay.
So gains from trade in the market is like a pie to be shared among the market participants, and it can be shared for everyone. So the question of efficiency is whether the pie is as big as possible, and the question of equality is how the pie is sliced and how the portions are distributed among members of society. So one way to measure the efficiency of the market is to look at the consumer surplus. Consumer surplus is the difference between the maximum amount of consumer is willing to pay for good and the price they actually pay. Yeah, so can you move to the next slide, please? Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, so move on to the market outcomes. So free markets allocate the supply of goods to the buyers who value them most highly, and is measured by their willingness to pay. And the free markets allocate the demand for goods to the sellers who can produce them at the least cost.
Other student, please. Okay, there are many students in this group. Okay, so I want to listen to the other one. Okay, because you on present. Okay, not just one or two member. Other student, please. Group six, you are presenting market efficiency. Now keep moving,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so next up we will continue with the market outcome. So the free markets allocate the supply of goods to the buyers who value them most highly. So basically it is there's no other things that force the prices to be lower. So maybe like the buyers who are willing to pay more will be the one who be chosen to buy the goods. And next is the about that is for the supply, and for the demand for the demand. So the customer they tend to like to buy things at a lower cost. So any supplier who can produce the good and buy and sell them at a lower price will be preferred by the customer. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so actually I have read this graph, but I don't really get how to like explain that clearly. So can you
Okay, so
me?
student, look at this. Okay, thank you. We are talking about market efficiency. And you can see from this, they are free market. Okay, no government intervention, just supply and demander, and they interact with other, and they make decision on price. You have a equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. And this triangle ACE, either largest surplus, is the largest surplus that society can get. It comes from consumer surplus, the area below demand curve and above price curve. Producer surplus is the area above supply curve and below price curve. Combine them together, total sum of consumer surplus and producer surplus, you get this total society surplus. And this is the logic one, free market, the logic one. Yeah, total surplus equal consumer surplus plus producer surplus. Okay, and believe me, this is the logic one. At market equilibrium like that, social planner cannot increase because it is the logic one. Yes, cannot raise total economic well-being by increase or decreasing the quantity of the good, because that area is the logic one. Okay, social planner or society can get. And from this, keep in mind that favor for free market. I remind you, remember the seed principle. Market usually a good way to organize economic activity, because free market in this case can create the largest surplus, the largest market efficiency for the society. Okay, you can see here, nowadays quite a lot on area surplus for society. Okay, so you can find this sentence, the very important sentence. Free market produce the quantity of goods that maximize the sum of consumer and producer surplus. Just free market can do that. So we conclude, market equilibrium is an efficient allocation resourcing mechanism. Market equilibrium defined by just consumer and producer will allocate resources in the most efficient way. And then what we withdraw from that? Laissez-faire that come from France. Okay, that means in English, let people do as they will. Let people do as they will, because they know what to do, how much to buy, what to buy, okay, what to produce, and how much to produce. Remember, just laissez-faire. Because no one except free market can do that. Later, we will study chapter 7, the cost of taxation. You can see that from the government intervention, we could not get the highest efficiency, the largest surplus that we can find from the free market. Okay. And here, please pay attention to it. We are talking about efficiency. That means maximize total surplus. However, in the real life, besides efficiency, we also think of equality. Equal or not, equality. Efficiency just try to maximize total surplus. Don't pay attention to how the surplus divide to different groups in the society. So besides that, we also pay attention to, for example, equality. Equality. That means how the price is like, how the portion are distributed among members of society. Okay. For efficiency, we just pay attention to the size of the pie. Okay. We read that as big as possible. However, if we pay attention to the equality in society, we think more how this line distributed among different groups in the society. Okay. And please note that we have the fathers of economics and science. That guy is Adam Smith. Adam Smith can be considered as the father of our economic science. And one of his contribution, with the most contribution, is that he figure out the ideas of invisible hand. Invisible hand. Market, according to Adam Smith, market will take on the information about buyer and seller into account. Market do that. Market guide everyone in the market to the best outcome. Okay, because buyer and seller, they know which are suitable for them, not the government. So invisible hand, free market can get the highest economic efficiency. So remember principle again. Usually the best way to organize economic activity, because it helps society get the highest, the largest surplus, the highest economic efficiency. Okay, so you can see from that Adam Smith with invisible hand, England, okay, to became the strongest country in the world. They favor for free market. Favor for free market. And you can see that beside that we have the system of Soviet Union. Soviet Union different. Okay, just like something like Catmat or something like that. You know Catmat already?
Yes, we know.
Yeah, Catmat, Lenin, blah blah, Mao Zedong, blah blah blah. Different from this. They favor central planning economy. Okay, Soviet Union system, Chinese system. They pay attention to the roles of what we say central planning economy. So in this case, what to buy, how much to buy, what to produce, how much to produce, determined by whom, student? The government. And you can see what happened. Okay, the collapse of Soviet Union. Okay, Soviet Union, they collapse because they don't obey yet the market law. Market law means invisible hand. Market law means laissez-faire. Okay, laissez-faire. Free market, best way to organize economic activity. But really know that. That's what we say from theory. In the real life, for example, you can say because the country, for example, some sector, some industry in country, if they want to compete with MMC, multinational company, for example, they must need support from the government. Okay, for example, some big corporation from Chinese, they get support, I mean strong support from Chinese government, that they can compete with the other country. Or Chevron from Korea, okay, receive support from the government. Before that, Toshiba, Toyota, something like that, Mitsubishi, they also receive support from government at the first beginning. Okay, and the same for our country. Okay, many industry, many firms receive support from government, that they can compete with other foreign company. So in theory, of course, we favor free market. However, for some country, for example, our country, Vietnam now, the government still intervene heavily into the country. And later you can see if we can analyze by the impact of taxation for the next chapter to focus on the suitable side of the government. So you can see the idea of the chapter, I mean chapter 7, very useful. Why I say useful? It helps us to plan why demand curve downward sloping based on willingness to pay. It helps us to plan why supply curve upward sloping because of willingness to sell, seller cost. And it helps us to know in theory, yeah, free market, the best way to organize economic activity. Okay. However, be careful. Yes. 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 Good. Yes. Yeah. Uh, uh, Vietnam now is not central planning economy. To some extent, we are market or orientation economy, following communism, kinh tế thị trường, định hướng xã hội chủ nghĩa. We are no longer central planning economy. Okay, but we are not free market. Yeah, we used to be, yes. In the past, yes, yes. That's a very good question. And if we study history, we know the reason why. Okay, after we reunion, okay, 75, we have the north and the south of our country, and after we reunion, we follow the Soviet Union mechanism, central plan, and you can see what will happen. What would happen? Our country were in the very hard time, very hard time, and then from 80, I mean, the decade, some last year of decade 80, we moved to market oriented economy. Of course, we still not free market, and I say it depends on the development. If we just free market, you can see we could not control our economy. I mean, and we could not compete with the other because we are a small country. So in this case, the government should protect, I mean, infant industry, những công nghiệp nông trẻ, the small company, the government should protect in order to compete with other competitor from other country. But I do believe that year by year, okay, we are more and more market orientation, okay, because you can see free market create the highest surplus for society. So I do believe that over time, okay, we will get more freedom, okay, in economic activity. And for the case of North Korea or Soviet Union, okay, I do not think that it comes from the economic problem. It comes from political problem. They know that free market is the best, however, because of political problem rather than economic problem. So, for example, North Korea, they still follow central planning economy. You can compare the different economic outcome between North Korea, central planned economy, and South Korea, to some extent, free market, and you can see which one is better. Okay, you can find your answer. And for the case of Soviet Union, now they call it no longer Soviet Union, and you can see Russia now is not strong country. Russia compared to the other capitalist country, they are so weak. They are not they are not strong. I mean, so Russia, okay, in terms in the eye of economic performance. Okay, Yeah. Uh, if central planning economy did well, they in this case they try to answer the question by just the system: what to buy, how much to buy, what to produce, how much to produce. They care everything for their citizen. In theory, they want to do so, but in practice, they could not. They failed to show the problem: what to buy, how much to buy, because, for example, the government never know for sure what consumer, what producer, or I say what their citizen really want. Okay, individual. The system could not solve that problem. Just the market. Okay. Yes, good. And now, okay, we have some exercise to do. You're very good student. Okay. Now, we just do exercise this. Please open your textbook. Okay, I will share the textbook. Student, can you see what I am sharing?
Yeah, we can see the
Yes, good.
picture share.
Yes, good. And you can say exercise sheet. Okay, in your textbook, open to page 186. Exercise sheet, please. Consider a market in which you see that.
We see but it's not, it's just a part of a questions. Nó không có đầy màn hình đó thầy, nên là tụi em không có thấy hết câu hỏi.
Nó không đầy à?
Dạ, ý là tụi em thấy được có tí xíu à.
Sao kỳ à? Để thầy làm lại. Okay. So, can you see the full screen now?
Yeah, now we can see it.
Yeah. Exercise sheet, please. You have a 5 minutes to show this. You have a 4 sub question A, B, C, D. Okay. It just apply what we study in the chapter. 5 minutes to do before we have a break. Of course, I want you to work with your friend in the same group. So we have a 4 sub question A, B, C, D. So we will have a 4 group to show. Yes. So try to do with your friend. Okay. Okay, you finish. So for question A, group 7, please write down the answer in the chat box. Okay, group 7.
Yes,
Good.
okay, teacher. Please wait a
Okay.
second, please.
Okay. So question A, group 7. Question B, group 5. Vi, Nhi, Mai, Bảo. Okay, group 5 for question B. Question C, please. Group 3, Lâm, Như, Hân, Thư, Tài. Okay, and of course, question 1. Sorry, question D, group 1 with Phương, Huy, Thư, Trang, Linh. Okay, so on group, please write down your, for group, please write down your answer in the chat box. Okay. The other group, you can check your answer with your friend. Okay. Okay, now play. Group 7. I am sharing your result. So anyone on earth can see your result. So please discuss your result, please.
Okay, so Cường, can you open the mic and then share with the class our results?
Hình như thầy đang mở mà, thầy
Okay,
đang
so
share kết quả đúng không? Các em thấy kết quả mà em thầy đang share không?
Đúng rồi, dạ đúng rồi, dạ.
Ok vậy, sau please.
so for the sub-question A, I think it's really simple. It's just why I say that the quantity demand by bird is equal 3, because bird is willing to pay at least $3 for on 3 photo. So in the quantities, as in the demand, what's that word? So in the demand schedule of the bird, he say that he would buy the first photo for $7, second for 5, third for 3, and fourth for 1. So you can apply that in this. So at the rise of $2, the he will willing to pay the first 3 photo, which is seven and 5 and $3. So it's the same with the rest of this question.
So, question A. Which of the price brings supply and demand into equilibrium? 2, 4, or 6?
It's 4, because the quantity demand and quantity supply equal at 4.
Okay, that's right. So you just say 4, okay? Thank you. So equilibrium price is 4 because it can bring supply and demand into equilibrium. Thank you. And now, question B, please. Group 5, question B. Please discuss your result.
I'm from this side. Now, that's like the demand and supply curve, like a decade at discusses in consumer surplus and supply surplus. So, um, the consumer surplus is the area below the supply, uh, be- above the demand, like I can I consumer surplus is below the demand curve and above the equilibrium at the price 4. So it's a total.
Okay, that's right. Total surplus come from consumer surplus and producer surplus. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Question C, please. Group 3, please. What happened to total surplus? Now, group 3. So before, total surplus is $8, and now total surplus is how much? Group 3. Deadline $6. Okay. Okay. And the last group.
Okay, so we will explain the D part. So if Ernie produce one additional bottle of water, which means so usually you see that at the price of 2, Ernie only produced 2 bottles of water. Now if he produced the third bottle of water, his cost would be $5, but the market price is only $4. So he would lose $1, right? So his producer surplus would decline by $1. Now the same thing happens for Bert, which is the buyer. As he consumed one additional bottle of water, which means he buy the third bottle of water, his value would be $3. But again, the price is $4. So his consumer surplus would as well decline by $1. So the total surplus, I'm sorry, so the total surplus will decline by 1 plus 1 equals to $2. So
Okay.
that's our answer.
Okay, that's good. Student. Yeah, the exercise looks simple, okay? But can give us a very important idea. How can we raise, society, okay? How can we raise consumer surplus? Or how can we reduce or raise producer surplus? And the way society gets the highest surplus. Okay? So take break for 20 minutes. Yes, and we come back after that. Okay? So we come back at 2 p.m. 7, okay? Oh no,
Thank
we
you.
met at 3 p.m. Okay.